got some poems. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. The first one is the Silicon Valley coming of age story, inspired by misunderstandings of Jungian psychology, Buddhism, and Allen Ginsberg. If you think you can tell, let me know. It's Anti-Animus and the Bardo Straits. Sailing the Bardo Strait with Anti-Animus, a thrust fund escapee from Waste Valley College to the cubicles at Sin Crap Circuit's main headquarters, Buddha laughing in a sewer canal while hungry ghosts jot notes in the double spaces between your lines. When Auntie finally comes alive, or as Uncle Alan might say, a steaming bookworm naked gutter snipe in God's trough of sewer squid, you both become natural-born Buddha swillers navigating canals to the next Bardo Strait. The two of you, flawed by default, processors of words, voices between voices, dodging the pigeonholes, the straits become your school of rejected philosophy. Together, you empty the cesspools of inhuman resources, clear out the empty break room Tupperware, remove those who disobey, those emotions jaded and frayed, until you become a temple gong show of accounts payable. When the straits begin to narrow, as processor industries fail, canals run thin, Auntie goes for a deep dive inside, leaving the sewers high and dry, too much to contemplate. Layoffs annihilate, but cesspools do reincarnate, leaving you time to procreate full speed ahead. As the workforce potential then opens wide, Buddha's laughing sewer of connections pays off the medical bills with unemployment checks. New straits emerge from Nowheresville, or as Uncle Jack might say, we're not bleak, dusty locomotive greaseball kids troubling the academic machinery anymore. We are Buddhas at the high-tech headhunter office, bringing home the sourdough and eightfold path of pigeonless perfection. That's when conjugate becomes encapsulate and waste goes to silicon. That's when you script shells and open sources. That's when you outcode the bro-coders, paving the road between pigeonholes with a new anti-animus and a new hungry house, all spick and span, a new sewer canal emptying into the next Bardo Strait. This one is about a lonely newspaper columnist and what goes through his head as he travels the world. It's called Here, H-E-R-E. Okay. Take a deep breath for this. Here, on a beat-up, hand-me-down laptop with a busted Ethernet port, I will write my column. Here, at home, on my crumpled black futon, I can write my column. Here, in the coffee shop, fueled with black tea, mint leaves, and the esoteric tang of cardamom, I will write my column. Here, at her flat, just before sunrise, when the seagulls and garbage trucks convert the fog into creativity, at her flat, I could easily write my column. Here, on a train from Lugano to Zurich, in the business cabin where the tone signaling the next station is the same pitch as the first note of the ship song by Nick Cave in the Bad Seeds, I am going to write my column. Here, pointing with my index finger to my right temple, and here is where I probably should be writing my column. Here, in the Fairmont lobby lounge, to the din of luggage wheels and espresso machine, two Russian housewives and the California Society of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation annual conference, I will bang out my column. Here, In a cramped American Airlines seat amid pretzel wrappers, twice completed Sudoku puzzles, and wrinkled in-flight magazines, I am trying to write my column. Here, at home, despite writer's block and by the grace of Loki, Isis, Durga, Leonard Cohen, and the great god Pan or somebody, I shall grind out my column. Here, in my business suite at the Pan Pacific in Singapore, at my desk, staring across the bed to the call-to-wide bathtub with custom Hansgrohe fittings, and then to the rain shower, right where the hotel's media relations woman won't be showering anytime soon, I will file my column. Here, in the crumbling press box of some ersatz stadium at a Jesuit college, even though no one else in the whole fucking wasteland cares about this game, I will file my column. Here, at a public market with horrible Wi-Fi, even though I am on deadline, I am going to finish this column instead of writing my column. Okay, back to Silicon Valley. This is a short one. This one is called "The Absurdist Son of an Immigrant Grapples with Comprehending His Google News Feed." Google News tells me academics in India are robbing literature of any personal touch. Poor literature breeds poor syllabus breeds poor literature. A vicious cycle while banner ads of Clark's walking shoes keep stomping across my laptop. Page down leads to Baltimore cops reading Plato and James Baldwin. Then, no bombs, no guns, just 90 minutes of football. As Google knocks, I learned that cinnamon may help attack fat and obesity. Scrolling up to schizophrenia, the subhead says, "Angry avatars help people stop hearing voices by shouting at them." Meanwhile, Ohio State rallies past Michigan, Pakistani authorities order a media blackout, and Easter eggs lay hidden in the new Senate tax bill. Are millennials narcissistic? The evidence is not so simple, says Google News. Silicon Valley, Black Friday, Donald Trump, and the FCC. Badgers football, tobacco companies, and the Pope in South Asia. I can still hear Google knocking. What to click? I choose the one that says Buddhism includes everything, including comic books. Okay, we have time for one more, so I will. This is a travel one. So this is from Switzerland, actually. This is called "In the Gravel at San Abendio Cemetery." Chilly October breeze in Lugano carries a lake of serene blue between the shapely peaks. Behind the train station, the bus fills with locals and a traveler with a copy of Hermann Hesse in his jacket. Vehicle eases up a hill, snaking a path to a village of cobblestones and tiled roofs that redirect the drizzle. Through the town square, the traveler saunters by a cafe filled with books and war stories in many tongues. Down the walkway, the stone facade of Casa Camuzzi beckons one to mirror the life of an old German author. It is here, after wandering far from home, that Hesse harmonized inner conflicts on pages and gardens on watercolor paper. But now, like those Chinese hermits gone missing, Hesse is not present to greet anyone. Instead, his photos, bookshelf, spectacles, and satchels of notes remain behind polished glass. On walls, his words appear in multiple tongues, transmitting knowledge from east and west. On a table, his old typewriter meditates, the very machine from which the great game emerged. Brochures then lead the traveler to where Hesse lies buried, in a cemetery just past the village where he wandered and painted. There in the gravel, the traveler speaks to a gravestone. For you, old man, I will keep writing. Just show me how to pay the bills. All right, thank you.